Here I've got a basic drum loop that I'd like to actually slice up into its individual parts, the individual drum hits, and load those individual bits into the drum machine here in PreSonus, the Impact XT. And of course, I could come up to the toolbar here and activate the split tool and come in and start making cuts wherever I'd like, and we can turn our snap off here to make more precise cuts. But I'd like to automate this process and get it done as quickly as possible. So let's actually undo those cuts and come back to our arrow tool. So what I've done is created a macro that includes several different steps to take care of all of the cuts and loading everything into Impact for me. So I've assigned a shortcut key to that. So the first thing I want to do is just be sure that I have this event selected, and I'm going to press Alt and B. That's what I've set up for the macro. And then we can see that those are cut up in less than a second and sent to an impact. And then now I can come here and trigger each of these individual drum elements that have been split up for me. Now these are not going to all be perfect, so we can hear a little bit on the end here. We can come to the right marker and just pull that in, and that's cleaned up. At the end we have a little click there, so we could pull that in to clean that up. So you can easily come in, and this is actually the great part about it. If you wanted to extend out what's being played, you can extend this out. Let's click, hold, and drag up in our waveform display and then pull that back. So now we've got a longer sample on this particular pad. So having these markers that we can adjust adds a lot more flexibility as well when we're setting up our kit from these sampled drum loops. So let's take a look at the 3 different steps that I put together into a macro. And even if you don't want to create your own macro, performing these 3 steps still should take you less than 10 seconds. So let's go ahead and clear everything out of here and just start from scratch. Let's right click in our track column and remove that track and instrument. And I'm going to press Shift and T as in Tom to remove out that track. We'll come to our file section and I'm going to drag this drum loop in. Let's close out our browser and let's make this a bit larger vertically. Now, one thing that I want to mention before you even begin cutting or slicing your event or your loop, let's right click on it, and then we can see this actually has file tempo information that's built into the metadata here. So when we bring this in to our song, by default Studio One's going to stretch this to conform to our tempo of 120. So this is actually being stretched a bit in order to fit the 120 tempo, whereas this is set for 110. So we don't want to have any stretching or compression done when we slice this up, at least I don't. So what we need to do is come over to the inspector. We can click on the eye here, and this is going to be set to time stretch by default. So when we create our new song, let's come to the top right corner and click on the home page there. Let's click on new to create a new song. By default, let's scroll down a bit here. This is going to be checked, stretch audio files to tempo. So when we bring in audio files or loops that have metadata for a BPM encoded into them, like we saw that 110 BPM, then they're going to be stretched to fit your current song tempo. So if you don't want that behavior when you're creating your new song, just scroll down to the bottom here and uncheck this box. But we'll go ahead and cancel. Let's come back to our song by clicking here on that paper icon. And I also want to show that if you are already working in your song, you can take that setting off as well by coming to the transport area, clicking on our sample rate, and then we are in our song setup, and in the center area we can see stretch audio files to tempo. And this is a global setting for our song, so as we saw a second ago, we didn't take a look at that yet, but we can turn off the time stretch mode for individual tracks or for our entire song by deselecting here. But let's cancel out, and let's go ahead and now, by default, this time stretch mode has adjusted our 110 BPM loop to our 120 tempo. But by clicking on this drop down menu, we can change that to don't follow. That's going to say don't follow our song tempo. And you see that this extends out a little bit. And now it's going to be playing back at its original tempo. And so there's no stretching or compression done to this event, and that's the way that I'd prefer it before I go ahead and make the cut. So the next thing that we want to do is right click on this audio event, and then come down to the audio section. And then here over to the left, we have detect transients. Let's go ahead and click on that. And we can see that Studio One has automatically detected all the areas where it sees transients or has found transients. Now, this could work perfectly for you as it is, but if you would like to adjust this where these bend markers are being placed, we can come to the top here and then open up our audio bend panel. This is the one that we want, this first icon. I'll click once. And then here we have a threshold. Now by default, this is on 80%, and this is what we got with that setting. If we would like less sensitivity, we can pull this to the left, and you can see we start dropping those bend markers. If we would like more, we can move this to the right. So if you'd like to adjust this and do this manually with 3 steps, just know that you can use the threshold setting to determine the amount of bend markers that you're getting within your loop. Now the next thing we need to do is right click again on our audio event, come to the same audio section, and then we'll come to the same audio bend area. And what we want to do now is split at bend markers. So I'll go ahead and select that, and then we can see that everything has been split for us. But what we want to do next is go ahead and click, hold, and drag to be sure that all of these are selected. We'll right click yet again, come to the audio section, and then now we want to come to the bottom right, this area here, and we have send to new sample 1 and send to new impact. We want to send this to the impact, or I'd like to. So let's go ahead and do that. You can send it to sample 1 if you'd like. And now you can see that everything has been mapped out according to where Studio One found those transients. And of course, we could come in again and fix any areas that are a little bit rough around the edges there. There's a little bit of clicking at the end there. We can adjust the beginning as well. Okay, so those are the 3 individual steps that I created the macro from. And if you decide that you would like to create a macro for these, let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. We will close out our bend panel. Let's then come to our macro panel here in the toolbar. Click once on that. And then here to the left, we have a gear icon. I'm going to click once on that. And then towards the bottom, we have our macro organizer. So let's get that open. Now, the first thing that we do after we select our event, we'll close it out just for a second, and let's remove the track and instrument and Shift and T to start from the very beginning here. We'll bring in our audio file. Now we'll come back to the gear icon and then down to the macro organizer. Now within our macro organizer, we're going to come to the right-hand side here and then click on the new. And the very first command that we would like is after we select our event, this green event there, when it's highlighted, we want to detect the transients. So let's come to the search field and start to type detect transients. We can see that here, this is under the audio section that matches detect transients. Then we'll click on add. This is added to our macro. We haven't named it yet. Then the next step would be splitting at the transients. So let's type in split. And the top result, we have split at bend markers. That's actually what we want. We'll add that. And then the final step would be sending this to a new impact. So I'll type in send. Then we have at the top to new impact. We'll highlight that and then click on add. So right now our macro is set up so that as soon as we select our audio event, the first thing it will do will be to auto detect the transients, split at the bend markers, and then send to the new impact. If you got the order of any of these wrong, you can just use the down or up. So while this send to new impact is selected, I can click on up, and that's going to be moved up in the order, but we'll move that back down. Let's name this. I'll just call it tutorial macro. And we can put this in a group or give it a description as well, but we'll just click on OK. Now we can see in our macro organizer, we have tutorial macro. Now the next thing that we'll do is close out this window here. I'm going to Shift F to exit the full screen mode. And then let's come up to Studio One at the top here. And then we want keyboard shortcuts. And then we're in the search field for our shortcuts. And let's start to type in tutorial. Here is our tutorial macro. We'll select this. And then we can come here and assign a key to this. I'll just do the Alt B. That's what I assigned to the first one that I created, split to impact. So I'll go ahead and reassign it anyway. So now we have Alt B assigned to those 3 steps that we created for our tutorial macro. And I can click OK. Let's select our audio event. I'll press Alt B, and it's going to run through those 3 steps and work like magic. So there we are. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next tutorial.